The cutaneous eruptions we call viral exanthems represent the visible terminal points of deep systemic pathogenic pathways. Unlike a superficial bacterial infection that remains localized at the point of entry, these viral eruptions require hematogenousous dissemination to seed the epidermis from within. To observe these systemic infections in detail, we use the Herpesviruses family, specifically Herpes simplex and Varicella zoster, as the primary archetypes for study. These viruses execute a life cycle that moves from acute cytolytic primary infections to dormant neural latency and episodic reactivations. Every stage is dictated by their specific microscopic morphology. Understanding the macroscopic rash requires an initial dissection of the microscopic architectural blueprint of the virion itself. Within a cutaneous vesicle, we can map the exact breach in the epidermal layer, where interstitial fluid has pooled in the wake of cellular damage. During the acute phase of an exanthem, this fluid contains an exceptionally high viral load, acting as a concentrated reservoir for the pathogen. The interstitial space is a hostile environment. Localized immune cells flood this fluid matrix, attempting to clear the virus before it can reach adjacent tissues. For a single Herpesviruses virion suspended here, the immediate objective is to find and infect a new host epithelial cell to sustain the cycle. Successfully navigating this inflammatory fluid and breaching a host cell is the first critical test in sustaining the infection. This is the structural blueprint of the herpes virus, a large 150 to 200 nanometer particle. Its outermost layer is a lipid envelope embedded with projecting glycoprotein spikes. These spikes recognize host cell receptors, facilitating the initial binding and membrane fusion required for entry. Directly beneath the lipid envelope sits the tegument, an amorphous and asymmetric protein layer. The tegument delivers pre-packaged viral proteins that immediately hijack host cell machinery to regulate the early stages of infection. At the center, an icosahedral capsid protects the viral genome, a single strand of linear double-stranded DNA. This specialized architecture evolved to facilitate both immediate host entry and the long-term survival required for neural latency. When the glycoprotein spikes bind to the epithelial receptor, the viral envelope fuses with the cell membrane, releasing the nucleocapsid into the cytoplasm. The nucleocapsid is then transported through the host cytoplasm until it docks precisely at the nuclear pore. The capsid unspools, injecting its linear double-stranded DNA directly into the host nucleus. Inside the nucleus, the linear DNA circularizes. This initiates a rolling circle mechanism of replication, which allows for the rapid assembly of new viral particles. This nuclear replication differentiates herpes viruses from many other DNA viruses, enabling the massive and rapid cytolytic production that leads to cell death. As the infected epithelial cell dies, newly formed virions spill out into the surrounding mucosal tissue. The newly formed virus then transitions from the local tissue directly into the bloodstream, entering the stage of primary viremia. Certain viruses, like Varicella Zoster, utilize infected mononuclear cells as vehicles, shielding the virus from immune responses as it travels through the blood. This enables the seeding of secondary target sites across the body, including the respiratory tract and the remote epidermal layers, resulting in diffuse clinical rashes like chickenpox. Primary viremia is the mechanism that transforms a localized mucosal exposure into a systemic exanthem. At these secondary target sites, the virus pivots, shifting from infecting dermal epithelial cells to invading the local sensory nerve endings. The virus then hijacks the neuron's microtubule network, utilizing retrograde axonal flow to travel deep into the peripheral nervous system. Moving inside the sensory axon shields the traveling virion from both circulating antibodies and cellular immune responses. This targeted physical neural pathway contrasts with the chaotic hematogenously dissemination in the blood that defined the earlier stages of infection. Retrograde axonal flow serves as the physiological bridge between the surface exanthem and the virus's integration into the host. The virus arrives at the sensory ganglia, the dorsal root for Varicella zoster, or the trigeminal and sacral ganglia for herpes simplex. Upon entering the neuron, viral replication stops. The genome is silenced. The latent viral DNA exists as a circular episome within the neuron's nucleus, remaining dormant without triggering cellular death. This dormant state is the opposite of the destructive cytolytic activity observed during the initial skin infection. Latency is a survival strategy that ensures the virus remains a permanent resident of the human host. Specific triggers, such as immunosuppression, physical stress, or cellular aging, can break this latency. These stressors prompt the silenced viral episome to resume active, lytic replication within the host neuron. Newly assembled virions use anterograde axonal spread to travel back down the same nerve fiber to the periphery. Because pre-existing host immunity limits viral spread in the tissues, this return journey results in a localized infection rather than a systemic rash. This reactivation process shifts the viral load from widespread systemic dissemination into highly localized neuroanatomically defined outbreaks. Once the reactivated virus returns to the peripheral epithelial cells, lytic cellular destruction begins immediately. The tissue exhibits diffuse rounding and ballooning as the host cells are overtaken. Membrane fusion forces adjacent epithelial cells to merge into massive abnormal structures. A tank preparation using gene allows for the laboratory diagnosis of this devastation, centering on the resulting multinucleated giant cell. We can also identify Lipschultz bodies, characteristic intracytoplasmic inclusions, visible within these fused cells. These histological fingerprints provide direct evidence of the virus's lytic reactivation cycle. The microscopic destruction eventually manifests as a macroscopic symptom. This photographic evidence shows the reactivated exanthem as a clustered, unilateral, and segmental rash, typical of zoster. The sharp dermatomal boundaries of this rash result from the virus following the specific path of the sensory nerve involved in anterograde transport. The surface lesion we observe is the final manifestation of a journey through the mucosa, into the ganglia, and back to the skin. Every viral exanthem functions as a clinical map, charting the systemic interplay between viral morphology, neural anatomy, and the human immune response.